Love it. Okay, hello from Bulgaria, Sofia. We are.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
I was passing through, and I have a lovely friend who I met through Couchsurfing last summer. I mentioned about her in my previous video. She's here. She'd like to introduce herself.
Hello again. This is Jenny, Evgenia, and I'm living in Sofia currently. And yeah, really difficult to describe myself. This is a really hard question, you know. The first time somebody asked me, "Who are you?" Like, describe yourself, I was, I think, 6th, 5th grade. And I had to think about 3 hours, you know, who am I? And, you know, introduce yourself, because when I tell you my name, is that enough?
Yes.
Yeah?
Maybe you can also tell us that your hobbies, what you do.
Okay, my hobbies. I really like, I like being in nature and spending time in nature. I like doing sports.
Mm-hmm.
I like swimming, I like going to the gym, I like climbing mountains, I like biking, music, and reading as
She
well.
played guitar.
Yes, and it was a really, really nice improvised little song that
Yes.
I played.
She improvised an amazing song for me.
And it was fitting perfectly for like the podcast to begin, you know.
Yes.
It was like,
yes. In case, would you be able to do again?
I forgot what I was doing because it was an improvisation.
Damn
So I don't remember.
Okay. So we were talking about nature, like how it's healing to be in the nature and what inspired her to, spend more time in nature, set up her own community, and also she does cycling. When I first heard her story, I was so inspired and I thought she's such a unique person. And now I want to ask what inspired her and what you would like to say to people who want to live in the nature and quit this hostile society.
I would say do it. I would say find people who are crazy enough to dare to see and to dream about an alternative way of living, and do it. If that's what you really want, what is really stopping you? And that's also a question I ask myself, you know, because all the time we have these like excuses that I don't have enough money, it's not the right time, it's not the right place, you know, all the time something is missing. There will not be a perfect time to start something. You start, and then kind of as you go along, you learn, you become better, you face the challenges, and you learn from them. And yeah, just do it. Just find people, and there's always ways. There's so many ways. And if you cannot think of a way, talk with people, because people have really good ideas, and get inspired and start doing stuff, because it's really important for me to be as autonomous as we can and to live really close to nature, you know. That's at least how I picture my idea of what I want to do in my life. So,
and how do we find such people?
By talking, sharing our stories. We are really lucky to have social media these days, so there's many platforms you can find people. Workaway, Roots, you know, by traveling, by meeting people, by going and doing projects that are CBS,
European Solidarity Corps,
yeah.
Erasmus Plus, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there's so many ways, and you can do volunteering. You know, there's a lot of volunteering pages where you can just go and experience something and you know, exchange your time and what you're going to help on the project to get some knowledge and also meet cool people. So that's really nice. And I think that's a really good way to start. Just go out and explore, and you'll find out.
And you were talking about how it's important to be in nature and how our contemporary society and capitalist system is preventing us to be where we belong to, and we are in a chronic hostile culture and lost in the 9-to-5 jobs to pay our bills, to live, and simply forget who we are, where we come from.
Exactly. Yeah, I think basically we're living in a very non-humane way. What I mean by that is that humans are not, designed by nature to wake up by an alarm and go and be productive every day of the year, with exceptions, and work from 8 to 12 hours depending on the job, and just doing more and more and more and more and more all the time without really clear direction. We're not designed to live like that. I think there are cycles that we are more productive and moments where we are not so productive, and there's moments to rest and reflect. Like, for example, I look in nature a lot of the time, and I observe and I see what's happening there, and it just makes sense, because nature doesn't really rush to do stuff all the time. She's doing stuff in cycles. Animals, the plants, nothing is productive 365 days a year. So when there's winter, it's time to slow down, to rest and to prepare for what's going to come, in spring.
Yeah.
What's going to grow. So I think, I think this is really not possible in the society we live in, because it's telling us to be productive every day, and we have deadlines and an immense amount of work that is sometimes not humanly possible to do.
No.
And when you're in nature, there are laws of the nature that you have to follow and kind of like live by, and form a interconnective relationship with things that surround you, so that you can enjoy the fruits and the blessings that it gives you.
You summarized very nice.
Yeah.
That's how I feel also in winter, like literally as it is in the nature, like a rest and getting back to yourself, and also some sort of being in your own cocoon and cozy. And I think it's our instincts are also designed so. And I'm sure so many people, our listeners, also relate.
For sure, I think.
But we were talking about like political side of that. Like we jumped in. I was telling her that I'm not really optimistic about the future and the state of the world at the moment. And you kind of confirmed.
Yes.
And we were talking during the lunch, and everything is going worse, and so profit-based, egoist, and self-centric it's called. And this is how our monetary system, society is somehow driven to. And what do you think about all this?
Well, yeah, I mean, I share your point of view. I think when you look at the world globally and what's happening, it's really, really, really a big hallucination, in my opinion, because there's so much illusion in this world based on the society that some people created that benefit from it, which are very little, and the rest is living in poverty, in places of conflict, in places where life is really harsh. And this is not okay. I mean, when you look at the world and what's happening, this is going to happen more frequently and more often, because what these people who are benefiting from this system, they're just focused on getting more profit, more money and more power. And unfortunately for that, a lot of people will suffer. As we can see, there are more and more wars and genocides and climate change.
Resources are also unequally distributed.
And also there's not really a lot of natural resources that people can access in many places because of, again, colonialism and people going there and stealing all their natural goods to again make profit. And we can see this, for example, happening in Africa. We can see this in Asia. We can see this in Latin America. We can see this in many places.
Yeah.
Many places, unfortunately. And for me, one big summarization of what I'm saying right now is just look at the Amazon forest and what has been happening there in the past decades and how much it's exploited. And it's just, if this forest goes, everything changes, the whole fucking ecosystem. Sorry, I cuss. I don't know if this is allowed.
Well, that's a free space.
Yes, but everything will change. And also like people and indigenous communities and everything suffers because of this, you know, capitalization and occupation and just colonization of wanting more, wanting to rule, wanting to take and exploit.
And now we are going through AI colonization, and we don't know how it will end.
We know.
Actually, we do. But let's see in which brutally creative way. But I think we will witness those times.
Yeah, I think sometimes some movies have predicted so many things. We just have to like, or maybe open the door to you know,
inspired
perception and to just like see that it's not always good to progress. Doesn't always mean good.
Yeah.
You know, can also be destruction.
Progress is good when it's fairly distributed and when everybody takes the share.
Yeah.
But I want to quickly jump into Bulgarian politics. What's happening in Bulgaria? There were protests on the streets and...
It's true. I think this was maybe the biggest protest ever in Bulgaria. And it's like the first huge protest after the 90s where people were protesting in such large scales. Numbers. And basically the people got really tired of the corruption that is happening in this country, especially after the moment where, you know, they decided to increase the tax from next year, and the budget that they voted was really not good for people. The salary stayed the same, but the tax increases at 10%, which is really, really bad, especially as things already are becoming more expensive and inflation, and they entering like with the euro from 1st of January.
No, we'll get that too.
Yeah. So basically people were really tired of corruption and of like politicians that own 80% of the country and are not really making good decisions for people. But there's a lot of money laundering, a lot of like stealing, also from European funds, and this is not something that people don't know. Like, people are aware of that, and it's still happening, and these people are ruling, and they're not going away from positions of power, and we cannot change this because they also manipulate the elections. So it's really bad. And people were like, okay, well, we are tired, we're gonna go out and we're gonna protest. And there was hundreds of thousands of people. And I was in the street, and this was so amazing to be together with all these people.
You were there?
Yes, and it was like, really you couldn't walk, because imagine 100,000 people starting to walk. Mm-hmm. It took us maybe 30 minutes to start to walk because there were so many.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so happy when I see this kind of civil disobedience towards unfair political authority. And recently we witnessed it in Serbia, in some other parts of the world, especially in Gen Z protests, that are showing that there are so many people out there who see what's going on and who are not okay, and they want to show up to prove their resistance towards such an unfair system and rule.
Yes.
We'll see if those will create a huge change.
Mm-hmm.
but they're impactful for sure because they also inspire other citizens. Also, we talked about with you how it's important to be active citizens and monitor
Yes.
governments and
Yes, because for me, the protest is only the beginning of the change. It's not the change itself. What is important is also what comes after the protest, what comes after dismantling the current position in power, because this is the moment where real change can start to happen. And people have to be more active. We have to give our voice, and we have to, when we say things that we are not okay with, where we don't agree with, we say, okay, no, we're not going to do it like this. Especially when you live in a democracy, you have the possibility to do it. In theory, this is what democracy is, but in reality, we sometimes see very different things.
Indeed. Indeed. And I'd like to jump in quickly that Bulgaria is entering the Eurozone on January 1st, 2026. How do you feel about it? And what do you expect from it?
I think, for me personally, I feel okay. I think it's something that it should happen maybe even before, a long time ago.
Okay.
I'm not really worried about it, like the change itself. I'm worried that people might panic and start to increase the prices just because psychologically everything will be in half, because right now €1 is almost 2 levas. So when your salary is half of what you're getting, you're gonna be in a little panic at the beginning, I think, until people really adapt to the new prices and everything. So I think there should also be more control on prices, because there's a really big problem here in Bulgaria. If you have a time to check prices in supermarket, I advise you to do this, because here there's something really strange, like people sell whatever they want to sell on whichever price they want. There's not really regulation on prices. So in the last
This is a problem.
The prices have gone up really, really high. Like currently 10 eggs are 6.25 to 6.50 leva, depending on the shop and the eggs, And I really want to compare this in the future when the euro comes after some months, to really see if it's only going to go back to its price but in euro, or it's gonna even go more up, if that makes sense.
Well, we will be reporting this in our next meeting, in our next episode. We'll see. We'll monitor.
We will record from the beginning.
Definitely, we will record from the beginning. Until then, we will see and watch and share our experience. Actually, her experience, because I don't live in Bulgaria. My dear friend, thank you so much for recording this with me. It was a pleasure. I loved seeing you.
I loved seeing you too. It was really cool to hang out and to catch up a little bit in real life.
Yeah, in real life. And we cooked a nice pasta with pesto.
Mamma mia! So tasty!
We had amazing Macedonian water with lemon.
Oh, yes.
Sparkling water.
Elisterka.
I loved it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And see you until next time.
Until next time, my dear friends.